Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan with the Rideshare Panel. Today's video is very exciting because I'm going to be reviewing Instacart and what it's like to be a shopper on the platform. I've been shopping for about a month now, and I've learned the ins and outs of what it takes to shop, how to kind of maximize your efficiency and have the most fun while you're shopping with Instacart. I've got a lot of really important stuff to go over in this video. I'm gonna start off with the pros and cons of being a shopper for Instacart. Then I'm gonna go into the pay model and how much I make as a shopper on the Instacart platform. A lot's changed in pay lately due to some huge things going on in the food delivery industry with tips being stolen, and Instacart's really standing out here. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and also stick around for some tips and tricks to being an Instacart shopper at the end of the video. And as always, if you haven't signed up for Instacart and you want to get a sign up bonus, you can use my link down below. Make sure you do that before we get started here so that you get the best offer available. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to notice right here, other than this lump of snow that you see, is that I parked right next to a cart rack, and this makes it easier to find a shopping cart and to also find your car when you're getting out of a delivery. So one of my favorite things about Instacart is the fact that I get to be my own boss, and that it's extremely flexible. I'm working on a Monday and I'm wearing some sweatpants, as you can see down here, just rolling in, doing an order kind of at my own leisure. It's also a great feeling to know that you're helping people out. A lot of times my customers are elderly customers that need help delivering their groceries to them. One of the downsides about being a shopper on the Instacart platform is that you're an independent contractor, and that means you're responsible for paying your own taxes. This can seem daunting, but at the end of the day, it's actually a lot easier than it sounds. One of my favorite parts about delivering with Instacart is just how happy it makes people when I deliver their groceries. Now, you might think that I'm exaggerating, but honestly, people give me really positive responses. I did a delivery the other day when I delivered groceries to a lady in a snowstorm in Seattle. Now, if you know anything about Seattle, it's that the first thing we do when there's snow is we panic. And this was some of the worst snow that we've had in years. So customers were incredibly appreciative. This lady went on for a few minutes about just how happy she was that I made the delivery for her and how she hadn't been able to get out of her house for a few days. She also tipped me really well. I've had a couple other customers that live in elderly homes, and they're also extremely appreciative. It's nice to know that you're doing something for someone that's really saving them time, and it's something that they might not even be able to do for themselves. When I'm delivering with DoorDash or Amazon Fresh, a lot of times I sit around at restaurants and I don't have much to do with my time. But with Instacart, I'm always keeping busy. And keeping busy makes me feel like I'm doing something that's useful and helpful to others at all times. Another potential downside to shopping with Instacart is wear and tear on your vehicle. Gas expenses add up, and there's potential maintenance costs that you will rack up over time. It's also possible to damage your vehicle. You might get a scratch on the front of your vehicle like that. Now, that didn't happen while I was shopping for Instacart, but it is something that could possibly happen. A few of my other favorite parts about shopping with Instacart are how easy it was to sign up. It was one of the easier apps to sign up for, and it really only took about 10 or 15 minutes of my time to get that process going. I also really like the app interface. It's very easy to navigate, and it makes my life easier as a shopper. When I have any issues on the platform, getting in contact with customer service is usually pretty easy. I can chat with them through the app, or I can give them a call. They've been able to solve all of my problems so far, which is a huge plus because a lot of other apps have terrible customer service. So Instacart's really done a lot to stand out here, and it makes my job easier and makes me want to keep shopping on the app more. Instacart's done a bunch of pay cuts over the last few years, which are definitely a con. And recently there was some news that they were stealing tips, but they've done a lot to change their pay model. Instacart Pay for shoppers is broken down to delivery earnings, a quality bonus, and tips. It's very important that tips are separate because there's been a lot of issues related to transparency as far as tipping in the delivery industry. And Instacart has been one of the first services to really step forward and make this more transparent. In light of these recent issues that have come up with tipping on the Instacart platform, Instacart has actually redone and revised their entire pay model, making full service deliveries a higher minimum. So that used to be $7 minimums when you were doing a full service delivery with Instacart, and now that has been raised to $10. This is a huge plus for Instacart shoppers. And the transparency of tips, which I'm going to go into a little bit more later, is also a very big bonus. If you're doing deliveries only on the Instacart platform, the new base pay is now $5 per delivery, and that's raised from an old base pay of $3 per delivery. The fact that tips are now transparent on the Instacart platform is one of the most attractive features that the platform offers. A lot of other platforms such as DoorDash and Amazon Flex still don't have much transparency, and DoorDash is currently facing a lawsuit because it appears that their tips are being used to pay out minimum wages. So when you're doing a service industry job like delivering groceries or delivering hot food to people, it's nice to know that you're helping people out and that you're also consequently getting rewarded for that help. But when tips aren't transparent, it kind of takes away the joy of helping people and contribution when you don't actually know if people are happy about it and excited that you just did them a favor. But Instacart has changed that and made tips very transparent. This has been a huge benefit, and I've noticed that my tips have been really good with Instacart. So far, I've been tipped on every single batch that I've done, and tips tend to be better than delivering with DoorDash or Amazon Flex because people know that when you're walking around a grocery store looking for items, it requires a little bit more work on your end, and they tend to reward shoppers a little bit more than they would as far as rewarding someone for just picking up an order at a drive-thru or, going somewhere and picking up food at a restaurant. Let's take a look at my earnings for last week when I completed 3 batches and I was active for 3 hours and 20 minutes. My total payout was $61, which brings my hourly earnings to about $20 an hour, maybe a little bit less. If we break this down a little bit further, my total delivery earnings were just over $40, and my quality bonus was $3 during all 3 of these batches. My total tips were over $17 for this time period. Now, my quality bonus could have been higher, but I actually forgot my shopper card on a couple of these orders, which kept that lower. Now, if we dive in a little bit further to a specific batch that I picked up Thursday, I earned about $24 and was active for an hour and 20 minutes. The delivery earnings for this batch were about $14. There was a $3 quality bonus, and tips added up to be about $7 for this order. Now, if we pull up the map, we can see that I drove a total of 5 miles for this delivery. Now at 60 cents per mile, that comes out to be about $3 just for driving on this delivery. There was a peak boost of $2 for this order and a total delivery incentive of just over $9. One of the most helpful tips as an Instacart shopper is to know your store layout and where generally items tend to be. Right now I'm shopping at a Fred Meyer, and the Instacart app actually doesn't tell you where items are located in Fred Meyer, so I've gone ahead and downloaded the Fred Meyer app, which does this for you. It's one of the few times when I actually don't recommend going for speed is when you're dropping off your groceries at a customer's address. Taking time to talk with the customer and have a good chat is going to get you a lot more tips, and Instacart is one of the few services that actually allows transparent tipping, so it's very much worth your while to take a little bit of extra time here. A lot of times I'll park my cart near the end of the aisle and then use a smaller cart like this to ferry items back and forth to my cart. This saves me a ton of time and makes me a more efficient shopper. It helps to park near a busy grocery store and wait for orders there. That way you're going to be the closest one on the app when a delivery gets pinged for that store. Instacart's going to want to make sure that you're safely handling food when you're shopping on the Instacart app. The main requirement of this is having heat bags in order to store that food while the delivery is being made. It's actually a pretty easy process to get through, and there's links to this inside of the Shopper app. It's not a requirement to get started to have passed this safe food handling test, but it is something that you'll eventually have to do. So Instacart's going to send you reminders via email to make sure that you go ahead and do that. Now, in order to pass, you need to have 3 heat bags or 1 large heat bag that's enough to store 3 standard grocery bags in it. So your average heat bag that you get from maybe DoorDash or Postmates isn't going to be enough, and you're going to have to supplement either with your own or with other heat bags that you've gotten from food delivery services. You can qualify to deliver alcohol with the Shopper app very easily just by taking a simple test. Now, this test only takes like 15 minutes, which in my opinion is totally worth it, because people that order alcohol are much more likely to tip higher. Think about it. Bartenders are always getting really good tips whenever they're serving you drinks at a bar. Delivering alcohol is the same thing. People are happy and willing to tip more when they're in a good mood and about to start drinking some alcohol. So take the 15-minute test and get your tips up with Instacart. If you found this video useful, make sure that you subscribe to the channel down below, because I'm dropping all of the latest rideshare updates and other side hustles that you can use to earn more money part-time. Also, make sure that you hit that like button. And if you've delivered with Instacart before and you've done shopping on the platform, leave a comment down below. Let me know about how your experience went, because I love to get that conversation going and learn more about how it went for you and any tips and advice that you have for the rest of us.